Next, Geldal method. So experimental arrangement in Geldal's method. First, we have to take Geldal's flask. So first, take Geldal's flask. Geldal's flask is in an inclined position, right? So this is a glass flask. So here we are going to take organic compound and sulfuric acid. So in Geldal's flask, approximately 0.3 to 0.5 gram organic compound will be taken and 25 ml of sulfuric acid will be taken. What is the first experimental arrangement? We have to construct this type of arrangement. The Geldal's flask is fitted with a stand. Organic compound will be taken 0.3 to 0.5 gram. 25 ml sulfuric acid will be there. With this, we add potassium sulfate and copper sulfate. And important one more question. The copper sulfate will act as a catalyst in this process. The role of copper sulfate is catalyst. So when organic compound and the sulfuric acid along with these two substances are heated, it forms ammonium sulfate because the nitrogen is present in the organic compound. The nitrogen combines with sulfuric acid, it forms ammonium sulfate. So we get the substance ammonium sulfate. Then after obtaining ammonium sulfate, we have to allow the Geldal's flask to cool that. Next, ammonium sulfate will be taken away. And important one mark, this Geldal's method is used in the analysis of food and fertilizers. To find the percentage of nitrogen in foods as well as fertilizers, we use this Geldal's method. So nitrogen present in the organic compound will combine with sulfuric acid, it forms ammonium sulfate. Next one, to take a round bottom flask and its capacity is 1 liter. You take round bottom flask. So here we take the substance obtained in the Geldal's flask, that means ammonium sulfate. Ammonium sulfate is taken in 1 liter round bottom flask. With this we add sodium hydroxide solution. Excess of sodium hydroxide will be taken. Okay. And we have a delivery tube. Now this delivery tube is fitted with a water condenser. So this is called a water condenser. Continuously water will flow into the condenser. Okay, so this is water inlet, this is water outlet. So this water condenser is fitted with a delivery tube in order to cool the liberated gas. Okay. So the gaseous molecule will come out. So we have to cool it. For that we have attached a water condenser. So continuously water molecules are flowing within the condenser. Now the condenser is the delivery tube or the end of condenser is dipped in sulfuric acid solution. So this is sulfuric acid solution. And we know the concentration of this one around n by 20, 0.05 normal. Okay. So normality or concentration of the solution is 0.05 normal. So this is experimental arrangement. We first get ammonium sulfate in Zeldal's flask. You take that in the round bottom flask. This will be fitted with so ammonium sulfate obtained from Zeldal's flask is added with sodium hydroxide. Okay. Sodium hydroxide and ammonium sulfate are heated in this round bottom flask with a capacity of 1 liter, and there is a liberation of ammonia gas which is coming out. Ammonia gas is coming out from this round bottom flask, and when it is passed through this water condenser it gets cooled, and ammonia is dissolving in the sulfuric acid, so it is again forming ammonium sulfate. So in this heating process, the liberated ammonia combines with sulfuric acid in this reservoir. It forms again ammonium sulfate. Now we are going to find what is the weight of ammonium sulfate, how much ammonium sulfate is formed. This can be obtained based on the weight of sulfuric acid. Okay, how much sulfuric acid is utilized to form ammonium sulfate. So in Zeldal's method, first we take an organic compound and sulfuric acid. We heat this along with the copper sulfate and potassium sulfate. Copper sulfate is acting as catalyst. So now the mixture is heated in Zeldal's flask. We get ammonium sulfate. Take the ammonium sulfate, keep it in round bottom flask along with the sodium hydroxide. You just heat. Ammonia gas will come out. Ammonia is dissolved in the sulfuric acid with a known concentration. Based on how much sulfuric acid is consumed by ammonia to form ammonium sulfate, how much volume of sulfuric acid is consumed by ammonia, that can be calculated. For example, 10 ml sulfuric acid is consumed by ammonia to form ammonium sulfate, means we can get how much ammonia is there. Example, 10 ml sulfuric acid consumed by ammonia means what about the volume of ammonia? Volume of ammonia also 10 ml. So based on this concept, we can derive the formula to calculate the percentage of nitrogen in Zeldal's method. So weight of organic compound is taken as W gram. Next, volume of sulfuric acid consumed in the receiver. How much sulfuric acid is consumed by ammonia to form ammonium sulfate? It's called VmL. The volume is taken as capital V. Then what about the strength of sulfuric acid? Concentration is denoted in terms of normality. Normality is one of the concentration terms. So normality of sulfuric acid is taken as N. Okay. So what is V? Volume of sulfuric acid consumed by ammonia to form ammonium sulfate, and its normality is denoted as Vn. Okay. Next, sulfuric acid is consumed by ammonia. So volume of ammonia is taken as V1 and the strength of ammonia, that means normality, is taken as N1. So we have two solutions. One is sulfuric acid, another one is ammonia. Volume and normality of sulfuric acid, volume and normality of ammonia. So according to volumetric analysis formula, Vn is equal to V1 N1. So this is the formula in volumetric analysis that you will study in 12th. Okay. So when we react two solutions, the process is called titration. Okay. When two solutions are joining or reacting, this will be the formula. Vn is equal to V1 N1, or you may write it as V1 N1 is equal to V2 N2. Okay. So this is volumetric analysis formula. Volume and normality of sulfuric acid is equal to the volume and normality of ammonia. Now take 1000 ml ammonia. Okay. Let's take acid. 1000 ml. 1 normal sulfuric acid is taken. Okay. So in the receiver, we take 1000 ml sulfuric acid with the concentration 1 normal. So this is V, this is N. N value 1, volume 1000 ml. 1000 ml of 1 normal sulfuric acid is taken in the receiver. So which is nothing but 17 gram ammonia. What is the molecular mass of ammonia? 17 gram. Nitrogen 14, 3 hydrogen 3. So molecular mass of nitrogen 17. Okay. So when we take this much acid, it consumes or it is consumed by this much ammonia. So 17 gram ammonia is nothing but what? It contains 14 gram nitrogen. So 1 liter of 1 normal acid is nothing but 1 mole ammonia. 1 mole means molecular mass of ammonia, molecular mass 17 gram. So 17 gram of ammonia contains 14 gram nitrogen. Okay, 14 gram nitrogen. Therefore, amount of acid can be represented as what? Volume and normality of acid contains 14 divided by 1000 into Vn. Okay. Because 1 liter of 1 normal acid is equal to 1 mole ammonia. That means 17 gram ammonia, which contains 14 gram nitrogen. So that 14 divided by 1000. So Vn, amount of acid contains this much ammonia. That means this much nitrogen. Okay, here 17 means ammonia. This much nitrogen. Therefore, W gram organic compound contains 14 divided by 1000 into Vn divided by W. We need percentage of nitrogen. So 14 divided by 1000 into Vn divided by W into 100. So this is the formula obtained in Geldahl's method to calculate percentage of nitrogen. Based on that, we have a 5-mark problem. So take page number 147. This is an important 5-mark problem. Weight of organic compound is given as 0.6 gram. Volume of sulfuric acid taken. Volume of sulfuric acid is taken in the receiver, 50 ml, and its normality is 0.5 normal. So in Geldahl's method, the receiver contains sulfuric acid 50 ml and a 0.5 normal concentration. Next. So in the Geldahl's method, the last one is the receiver, ammonia gas. So here which comes out, ammonia gas will come out. So here we have 50 ml sulfuric acid. 50 ml sulfuric acid is there and its concentration is 0.5 normal. Okay. Ammonia will be dissolved in sulfuric acid. Right. So after dissolving this ammonia, we have remaining sulfuric acid. So out of 50 ml, some quantity of sulfuric acid is utilized by ammonia to form ammonium sulfate, because ammonia dissolves in sulfuric acid to form ammonium sulfate salt. So this ammonia will consume a particular volume of sulfuric acid to form ammonium sulfate, and remaining sulfuric acid molecules will be there. So we are going to first find how much remaining sulfuric acid molecules present. For that, we have to take sodium hydroxide. Okay. So out of 50 ml, we need two values. How much sulfuric acid is remaining? That means how much sulfuric acid is utilized by this ammonia. So the remaining sulfuric acid can be calculated using the titration with the sodium hydroxide. So in the receiver, we have a solution. To take that solution, you just titrate it with a base. The remaining unreacted sulfuric acid will react with the sodium hydroxide. It forms salt, sodium sulfate salt. So this is called a neutralization reaction. We do this neutralization using phenolphthalein indicator. So after ammonia dissolves in sulfuric acid, remaining sulfuric acid is titrated against sodium hydroxide using phenolphthalein as an indicator. So here we take concentration of sodium hydroxide as 0.05 normal. Okay. Concentration of the sodium hydroxide is 0.05 normal. Now, so in the receiver, after the formation of ammonium sulfate, we just dilute this solution up to 150 ml. Just understand, this will be somewhat difficult to work out, so please listen. Organic compound 0.6 gram. In the receiver, we have 50 ml sulfuric acid with the concentration 0.5. Ammonia dissolves in this during Geldahl's method. So out of 50 ml, some quantity is converted into ammonium sulfate. Remaining sulfuric acid is titrated against sodium hydroxide with the concentration 0.05. Before titration, we just dilute this solution. The unreacted sulfuric acid is diluted using the water. So we take distilled water, we dilute it. We made the volume into 150 ml. Now what is the volume of diluted solution of sulfuric acid? 150 ml. Okay. Then from this 150 ml, we take 20 ml solution. From the receiver, we have obtained 150 ml dilute solution. By adding water, we have made us 150 ml solution. From this, we take 20 ml. That means 20 ml diluted sulfuric acid is going to be titrated with sodium hydroxide with the concentration 0.05 normal. So during this titration, how much base is required to neutralize? This is acid, sulfuric acid. Dilute sulfuric acid solution. Out of 150, we take 20 ml. Because using pipette, we can take only 20 ml. We will do in the 11th practicals. So in laboratory, we have burette as well as pipette. Burette capacity is 50 ml, pipette capacity 20 ml. So we can take 20 ml dilute acid using pipette. So this 20 ml dilute sulfuric acid is titrated against this sodium hydroxide with 0.05 normal concentration. How much sodium hydroxide required? 35 ml sodium hydroxide required to neutralize 20 ml sulfuric acid. So the reaction will be completed. So when we use phenol indicator, the color will be disappeared when burette reading is 35 ml. Okay. So from the receiver, we made a solution as 150 ml by dilution process. From this, we pipette out 20 ml acid. We titrate with sodium hydroxide. 35 ml required to neutralize. So for base, we know what is the volume and the concentration. For acid, we know what is volume. We don't know what is the concentration. So what is the formula in volumetric? V1N1 is equal to V2N2. Okay. If you take acid, for acid, V1 value is 20. So acid as well as base in the titration. For acid, volume is known. What about normality is unknown. For this dilute solution, we don't know concentration. For this one, so during Gelder's method, concentration is 0.5 normal. Sulfuric acid concentration 0.5 normal. After dilution, what is the concentration? That can be calculated. So V1 20 ml. Using pipette, we take 20 ml. We don't know concentration. And 35 ml sodium hydroxide required to neutralize this one. And the concentration of sodium hydroxide is 0.05. So N1 is equal to 35 into 0.05 divided by 20. So N1 value is 0.0875 normal. So what is the concentration of diluted sulfuric acid? This one. Okay. Now we have to calculate after formation of ammonium sulfate, how much sulfuric acid is there. So this dilute solution represents what? Some quantity is present in the reservoir. Some sulfuric acid is there. That is diluted into 150 ml. We need how much sulfuric acid is remaining unchanged. Okay, now consider sulfuric acid. Initially we take 50 ml and its concentration is 0.5. Ammonia is dissolving that. Ammonium sulfate formed. Remaining sulfuric acid is present. Unreacted sulfuric acid is present, which is diluted into 150 ml. And we know the concentration of diluted sulfuric acid as 0.0875 normal. So now out of 50 ml, some sulfuric acid is converted into ammonium sulfate, some is diluted. Okay. So V1. How much sulfuric acid is remaining? We don't know. Concentrated acid, dilute acid. In the concentrated acid, some is converted into ammonium sulfate, the remaining is present. We are going to calculate how much remaining sulfuric acid present in the reservoir. So V1, we don't know. Out of 50 ml, how much is present as sulfuric acid? We don't know. Take it as V1. What about its normality? 0.5. Next. Dilute sulfuric acid. So remaining sulfuric acid in the receiver is made it as 150 ml. Okay, dilute solution is made as 150 ml and whose concentration is already calculated as 0.0875. What about B1? 150 into 0.0875 divided by 0.5. The answer is 26.25 ml. So in Gelder's method, out of 50 ml, 26.25 ml sulfuric acid is present as such. So this much sulfuric acid is not converted into ammonium sulfate. Okay. So capital V is equal to what? Volume of acid. Okay. Volume of acid used by ammonia is equal to initial volume 50, remaining unreacted acid 26.25. So how much volume of sulfuric acid is consumed by ammonia? 23.75 ml. Okay. So in Gelder's method, first we take 50 ml, concentration 0.5. Ammonia dissolves in sulfuric acid, it forms ammonium sulfate. Remaining sulfuric acid 26.25 means how much sulfuric acid is converted into ammonium sulfate by ammonia? 23.75 ml. So capital V is calculated. So 23.75 ml acid is consumed by ammonia. So which is nothing but 23.75 gram or ml ammonia. Okay. So in the receiver, 23.75 ml acid is consumed by ammonia. That means 23.75 ml ammonia. So what about concentration? 0.5. So here also concentration 0.5. Volume 23.75. Normality 0.5 for acid. That means what about ammonia? Ammonia will also be the same. 23.75 volume of ammonia and the concentration 0.5. So what is the formula to calculate percentage of? So in Gelder's method, percentage of nitrogen is equal to 14 divided by 1000 into Vn divided by W into 100. This is the formula. So we know what is the volume as well as concentration. We just substitute it. So volume 23.75 and its concentration 0.5 divided by weight of organic substance 0.6 multiplied by 100. So percentage of nitrogen is equal to 0.166 gram. So this is the way to calculate percentage of nitrogen using Gelder's method. So with this we have completed all the elements, estimation of carbon, hydrogen, sulfur, halogens, phosphorus and nitrogen. The last one is oxygen. How to estimate the amount of oxygen? We don't have any direct method. The indirect method is after estimating all the elements in the organic compound. To take that, the organic compound has carbon, hydrogen as well as nitrogen and oxygen. We do estimation process. We have direct methods for the first three elements, carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen. Carbon 75 gram, 75%, and the hydrogen is estimated as 10%. And nitrogen is estimated as 10%. That means percentage of oxygen estimated from this value, because we don't have any direct method of estimating oxygen. So when you add all these, we get 95. Okay, that means the remaining 5% will be contributed by the oxygen. So estimation of oxygen can be done from the value of other elements. We don't have any direct experimental method of estimating oxygen. Out of 100, 80% other elements means remaining 20%. Okay. So in this compound, 95% contributed by carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen. So remaining 5% will be contributed by oxygen. So this is indirect method of estimating oxygen. So we have completed a deduction and estimation of elements. Next, purification of organic compound. So some important questions are there in purification of organic compound. We start that tomorrow. Thank you.